Hi there, and welcome to the Natanya Experience, Psych and Hip Hop. Today we are talking to Supreme Allah, and it is a supreme conversation indeed. Talk about transformation and someone who has taken a life of trauma and chaos and hardship and adversity and now is someone who risks their life on a daily basis to put themselves in harm's way as a community activist where there is active gang and violence in the streets, and is a young father and doing incredible work to help make everyone want to be here, be their best self, helping the youth of tomorrow see a different way forward. I'm so excited for you to hear what this incredible human being has to say. Please welcome Supreme Allah. Hi there, and welcome to another episode of the Natanya Experience. Today, I have the supreme being of all supreme beings.
Hey, how you doing?
I have the supreme here. The not of the Supremes, the solo act, joining me. And thank you so much for coming and having a chat today.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So, just to get started, if we could, I was hoping you could talk a little bit about some of what you're working on today and a little bit of like what you're doing, what you're into, to just ground everyone into who you are and what's keeping you excited.
Well, first of all, I just released from prison, federal prison, after doing 21 years. I've been home for a little over a year and some change. So everything that's taking place from now moving forward is a blessing. All right. There's been many a times where I've been in the cell thinking about all the things I was going to do when I got to society. And of course, getting money was the number one thing on the list. But when I got home and found out there was so many other things that I could be doing, I got caught up in a number of different other things that didn't necessarily deter me from getting to the money, but it just made me stop at different places and see things that was a little bit more valuable. Hence, I wound up getting a job working for a nonprofit organization, which is called Bevo, Brownsville End Violence Out. And this is where I help youth between the age of 14 to 26 change their mind states. Now, that may sound like a simple, easy thing to do, but when you're dealing with the teenagers of today, you have to be crafty, you have to be thoughtful, you have to be considerate. There's so many different adjectives that come into play that you have to take on those roles in order to communicate with them and get through to them. And it's been a challenge, but I'm grateful that I've been able to help a number of different young adults change their lives, and I've also been able to change my life in the process. Because being out in the streets, communicating with the young adults, getting to know this community, this age demographic is different than what I'm used to. The average 14, 15-year-old from my time, totally different from what they have today. And so you have to be able to adjust to that mindset of what's going on in this condition, in this community nowadays. In the process, like I said, I started writing a TV series loosely based on the story of our lives. Me and my three co-defendants. Uh, Most people may know we was convicted of conspiracy to rob several banks throughout the state of New Jersey, and we've been in prison for over 2 decades. We were sentenced to more than that. I was sentenced to 47 years, and throughout my time of going to the law library, reading up on my case, I got a lot of the charges dropped. It's a long story. We're going to get into that a little bit more, but basically, I'm here, man, to be a blessing to others, man, because I'm.
I mean, talk about made for Hollywood story of a redemption arc. And, we talked about before we were rolling the cameras about different kinds of people from different walks of life with different stories, and how everyone has things in their past that they wish they did differently, that they regretted. We hurt people, we hurt ourselves. Some people commit crimes, some people commit crimes and get caught, some people don't get caught, some people think about it, some people don't have access to certain things. But either way, there are a host of reasons that different circumstances put you in a certain path. The fact that you have been able to come out the other side of this, of 20-year incarceration, and now be a beacon of hope and, basically rejuvenation and renaissance for the youth of tomorrow, the young men and women who might be incarcerated themselves if they didn't find a path through you, because there's still, there's the adrenaline rush, there's the excitement, there's the glory of doing something that's illicit. That doesn't go away over time, right? Even culture changes, laws change, but that idea of doing something,
Right,
it's especially in young people, it's always a thing. That's why they take risks. That's why insurance costs so much for a car or anything for a younger person, because they're more likely to take a risk and get hurt, even,
right,
just legal or otherwise, right?
right,
So you're coming in and you have the credibility and the notoriety, right, with these young people, because it's not like you're just, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to a school principal or a pastor by any means by saying this, but what I mean is sometimes when someone of authority who is sort of in this stereotypical good person role, it doesn't land the same.
right, right. Well, at the vert training that we do, it's called violence interruption reduction training. They teach us that we are credible messengers because of what we've been through and what we've done, and now we're giving back. You won't be credible if you haven't been through anything. So, for the most part, they're able to identify with the stories that I tell because some of them is going through the same thing now. I started off in life of crime at the age of 13 years old. So I had to try to balance living at home with moms and being in the street with my friends and maintaining a balance where one world doesn't collide with the other. And eventually it always does because your days, like in vert training, your days should match your nights. But when it's not, you're a constant battle trying to fulfill these two different worlds, and it's hard to do. So I tell them, I say, listen, you decide what's passionate to you and what you're striving to accomplish in life, and then I'm going to help you accomplish those things. And as we begin to grow and build a relationship, I get to understand you better, you get to understand me better. And the beauty of it is I have a number of resources that I can provide for them to assist them in getting to that goal. So I'm not just saying stop doing what you're doing. I'm saying here's a better option. And if you take this option, I'll help you along the way. I'm not going to help you go that way. If you go that way, you're on your own. But if you go this way, I'll help you. And most of them are more inclined to go with the helping hand that's going to help them do something better.
I mean, it's just incredible. And obviously, I'm not aware of anything that was like that or not as widely available when
Right.
you were their age. So it's a whole new way of looking at it. And it's like I didn't know that, but I think that you said articulated it so much better than me about that credible messenger. And I think I get, but I got that, right? That's incredible. And then, like it is so much more about not just don't do this, do that, but what can you do? And that's really important, right? Giving someone a sense of purpose. And then the other thing you said that I just want to go back to real quick, sorry, is the two worlds, the daytime world and the nighttime world. Because a lot of folks that I've been talking to in this program and just, in life talk about there's almost like this wedge that gets built up between personal relationships because the real you is now split into these different places.
Mm-hmm.
Would
Mm-hmm.
you say that feels realistic? So meaning like interpersonal relationships, like a girlfriend or boyfriend or a parent, like when you're younger and a minor, maybe it's your parents, but you know what I mean? Like nobody really gets the full real you because you're one person in the streets and you're one person over here. And then there's so many secrets. And then within yourself, it's like, who am I? And now we didn't have this back in the day but now they have also their social media themselves that they put out there, which is another personality. So, how would you say that that's something that that needs to be reconciled often?
Well, we also do a such thing called canvassing. And canvassing means we're there to show our presence and be prepared to mediate conflicts on the spot. And sometimes we're there to mediate and prevent it. So we can lead you down a path where you can say, you know what, I was thinking about going over to do this. But because I spoke to you, you got me something to eat, you changed my mind, you made me laugh, I'm gonna go this direction. Social media, we're not always physically there to see what's going on. So we can look and check and see what's going on and say, hold on, man, that post you put up, take that down, man. You know what that's going to lead to, and that's not what you're looking for. You just told me last week that you wanted a job and you wanted to do right by your family and make your mother proud. But now you put this post up, which is contrary to what you told me. Which one is it? Are you going to go left? You're going to go right? You got to pick a side if you want me to travel with you. So it's a constant battle of them being able to balance out which direction they want to go. They want to fit in with their friends. They want the likes and they want the views and all this different stuff on social media. But then when they come to realities, the likes and views don't amount to nothing. You can't pay no bills with it. You can't buy no groceries with it. So I love to have conversations with the participants where we deal with real life events, real life things. And social media is a part of it. And that's something we didn't have back in the days where we had to go through social media, be fitting in and be recognized. We
It's like it's another self, right? So it's the street self, the private relate right? And then the social self. That's what I was thinking, but you said it so well. Wow. Yeah. That's
And
amazing.
usually, when those different worlds collide, that's where a lot of the drama comes in at. Because if you could be your same self that you are in front of your mother, that you are in front of your friends, that you are on social media, everything will be perfect. But because the way social media is set up, you have to do outlandish things that your mother wouldn't approve of in order for you to get these likes or for you to go viral. So this is why you have these young adults that I'm seeing on the news that riding the sides of the trains and losing their lives because they're doing these outrageous things. And we can't get to them all. But when I hear stories or see stories like that, I say to myself, what is it that I can say or what is it I can do with the participants that I am in contact with to prevent them from doing something like that or discouraging someone that they know from doing something like that? And I always tell them this, if you're looking for an adrenaline rush, if you're looking for something that's risky, come to me. I got some things for you. I got some things that's going to give you the same adrenaline rush, but I'm gonna put some money in your pocket. I'm gonna put some food in your mouth, and I'm gonna help you to learn better ways to spend your time. Because everything that I've been through as a young adult, snatching chains and doing all kinds of robberies, but ultimately led to me robbing banks and doing the things I was doing, it was because I had this misguided energy, and I didn't know where to place it and how to put it together. Mom's did the best she could do, bless her heart. However, she wasn't there with me 24/7. She wasn't able to be with me when I'm in school or when I'm with my friends traveling back and forth. So it was but so much she could do. But with us, we're outside. We're in the projects, we on the block, we on the boulevards, we in the back streets. When the lights go out, we right there with you. Most of the time we got on black because we right there with you, in the mix. But we're trying to encourage you to do better things. I don't tell a gang member, yo, stop being a gang member. Yo, you need to quit that. Because for the most part, he's going to look at me like how he look at his mother or his teacher. I'm going to tell you, if you're going to be a gang member, be a leader. Be a leader that's leading someone in a direction that they can benefit. Because when you look on social media, it says, how many followers do you have? Follow indicates somebody's leading. So if they're watching you and you're leading, lead them in a direction that'll benefit everyone that's going on the ride with you. Otherwise, it's going to be a failure and everybody's going to blame you. So we have to be mindful of the words that we use and the things that we say and do on a regular basis because you can't take it back once it's in social media. Once you put it out, it's out there, it's stuck. People will be quoting you from 5, 10, 15 years from now. So you have to be mindful of the character that you give birth to on that screen. So it's a constant work, man. I love it. I enjoy it. It's not necessarily about the pay. It's more so about the payback that we get and the feedback that we get from the people when they say, yo, thank you, because you helped me get this, or you helped me get a job, or I was about to do this, but then I wound up doing that. You gave them something else to do. You gave them alternative option. And that's what we do here at Bevo. We give alternative options and we help our young adults look at life differently.
It's amazing. And you effectively then positively uplift entire communities and whole families, right? Because if you help one 15-year-old young person, right? And then they have a group of friends and they have a family, and it just exponentially changes the whole perspective because even those who haven't been in the program probably start to hear about the program. And it means that it even just starts to plant a seed, right? Like maybe there's something else.
One of the ways that we got our participants up, the numbers up, we would go, me and my one of my coworkers would go to the projects and we would find out, well, who's the it people in the projects? Who's the ones that's everybody's talking about? Who's the names everybody know? And when they say those names, we'll start asking you, where's such and such at? Like we know them. Like where's this person? Where's that person? And they say, oh, they upstairs on such such floor. The average person said, I'm not going in that building. I don't know them people. I'm not getting on that elevator. We going in that building. We going on the elevator. We going up there. And we're gonna say, listen, man, we found out you the man in the neighborhood or whatever. But yeah, who is you? I'm the guy that's gonna help you be a better man. What? What are you talking about? I don't know you. You don't know me. And it's like that approach It's something they're not used to every day because so many of us in our community are separated by what we call ops, the opposition. Well, think of me as an op. Yeah, an opportunity to change your life and to better your situation. So I'm your new op. I'm the op you should be focused on, the opportunity. And I'm going to help you change your way of thinking. No matter what it is, you can always do better. So if you say, man, I'm good, I'm all right, I got everything figured out. Okay, well, let me show you a better way to do what you're already doing. And I guarantee you that you'll be in a better situation 30 to 90 days from now. So that's the challenge. Because, people love a challenge. If you come to them and try to be nice and just give them something, they may accept it. But when you challenge them, you say, I bet you can't do this, or I dare you to do that. Oh, they're more inclined to take you up on your offer, especially if they don't know you. Because now you have to prove yourself through what you say. That's why I strive to be a man of my word. And I strive for my code workers to be the man of their words because they depend on us when we say we're going to do something. So being out here in the community, like you said, we affect one, we're able to get the rest, and next thing you know, they come in droves. Our office stay flooded with young adults coming in because we was new. In March, we just opened up this office. Now, the young adults that come through here, you would think we've been open for years because once one come and they get something to eat or they play the video game or they get book bags and stuff, like, oh man, let's go to Bevo, man, the office over in the north, they just opened up and they just be coming through, coming through, coming through. And the beautiful thing about it is, like you said, we didn't have that when we was growing up. We had the YMCA and stuff like that, but that's nothing in comparison to what we're doing now because we're there for you in every situation. When the mothers, some of the times the mothers will be like, yo, where you going? Beaver, what the hell is that? Because the mothers, they not going back, reporting back to their mother what's going on. So we always encourage the parents, come down to the office. Let your mother know where you're at. Show her the office. Let her know the address. Let me speak to her. Let me communicate with her. And when the parents come and see what's going on, most of them's like, oh, man, I'm done. Go ahead. You take them. You deal with them. You communicate with them. And if anything go wrong, I'll let you know. And so it's like now she has a surrogate parent team. They say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, that metaphor, that parable is the realest that you've ever going to get because it takes more than just one person to help raise this young man and young woman. And we take pride in doing our part in raising our community, man. It's more than just a job.
No, I mean, I'm talking to a hero, obviously, and that's partly why I was so excited about this conversation. After meeting some of your friends and hearing some of what you're doing, I'm just so it's incredible. It's incredible. I love it. Can we shift just a little bit to talk about you because you're radiating such a calm confidence, loving, openness, hopefulness, but you were incarcerated for 20 years and you got out a year ago. So I'm wondering, like, has that wavered? I mean, I would imagine it did, but you could tell me it didn't. I mean, different people have different ways that they move, but I mean, you've had a journey to get to here. Have you always been able to pull yourself up and find that higher purpose, or have you ever struggled with those kinds of things?
I mean, I wouldn't classify it as struggling because I'm always looking for something better for within myself. Even as a youngster, I would always challenge myself to be better at whatever it is that I was doing. This doesn't mean I made the right decision. It just meant that whatever I was going to do, no matter how negative or positive it was, I'm going to be to the extreme. I'm going to do it to the fullest. And coming of age throughout the different times dictate how you develop. It's like a rites of passage. It's a different rites of passage in every community of how you get from being a boy to a man. And sometimes you get mixed signals of what a man is, or mixed manifestations or definition of what a man is. So when you think, oh, I'm the man, I did this, I did this, I did that, when in actuality, that was contrary. When you put it on a worldly scale of measuring what a man is. So now, as a youngster, I always used to say, man, when I grow up, I want to be the man. That was a term that we use, being the man. But now, when you get to put it on a microscope and say, hold on, what does that mean? You don't find that out until you go through struggle. What a man is, how you survived this, how you endured this. Did you man up? Did you run? Did you tell? And I've never been the type of individual to back down from a struggle or a challenge because I feel like that struggle or challenge was just there to keep me from getting to my goal. And I'm not going to allow that to stop me from getting to my goal, which is probably where the ambition to keep doing what I was doing came from. Because I feel like, oh, it's an obstacle. Oh, we're going to figure out how to get around this obstacle. Oh, it's a challenge. Oh, man, let's take it head first. Let me go first. But it's the type of situation where the people that's watching me is seeing the maturity, is seeing the growth. So now when I get to this point where I'm at right now, having endured 21 years of incarceration and having so many life-threatening situations that I endured. I look at this out here, it's all a blessing. Like I stated in the beginning, this is all a blessing. No matter how many struggles come my way, I'm blessed. I just gave birth, my wife just gave birth to my first child. Prince Zakari Messiah Coleman is officially here. He came September 30th, and it's a blessing. I can officially say I'm a father. I was already a stepdad, well, that's the terms they call, but I'm just a father, period. But now I have an official son, and it kind of changes the way you look at life. Even though I was already on the right path and doing the right thing, this solidifies my position as being a leader in my community, because I'm not just leading for other people's children, I'm leading for my own as well. So it gives you more incentive to get up and go. Right now, I'm on paternity leave, but as you can see, I'm here in my office. They called me in early and said, "Hey, Preem, we need you to come to the office. There's a guy that's looking to be interviewed. Could you come by?" I said, "Yo, I'll be right there." My wife gave me the evil eye on the way out the door, but I said, "Don't worry, baby, I'll be back. Let me take care of this. I'm coming back." And so I live for this. This is not, like I said, it's not a job. I live for it. And all those struggles that I went through to get here gives me the superpowers to be able to do what I do, to the point where it's not a job. Even though I get paid, I pay bills, I got, get a check, but what the gratification comes from the community, from the people. And everything that I endured to get here is what makes this just so normal to me. I mean, I come out here and do what I do like it's not nothing. I have a dance that I do on the way to work in the morning. When most people hate going to work, I look forward to it. I can't wait to get there. That's why I'm sometimes there early. And everybody like, "Yo, what, you spend the night or something?" No, I just want to make sure that I'm here just in case somebody knock on the door before everybody else get here. I'm here for them. Because at the end of the day, when we gone, it's what you left behind. It's the legacy you left behind. And I'm looking to leave a long lasting legacy, man. So I'm here putting in the work, man.
So that's amazing, and in a way, I hope doesn't bastardize it with language that's so trivial, because I don't have the perfect words, but it's almost, I'm just reiterating what you're saying, that having to be incarcerated for so long, you were able to build up such an appreciation for the life that you wanted to have when you got out. So you also were able to get yourself more time back, which is incredible, through the law library and all that. But also that you said, and because it's almost like people say with breakups, in a very shallow way to say this, but right, like you don't know what you have till it's gone. That idea, but it got ingrained in you decade after decade, right? And God knows what you experienced in prison. I'm sure there was some, like you said, life threatening and other challenges, or emotionally challenging situation. It's not the best place to feel like, the best about yourself and the world, let's just say. And yet you came out with a mission for others. You came out with a mission to do real work and put yourself in kind of maybe dangerous situations, but to be able to help and flip the script for a lot of people. And it's just incredible. On top of which, I understand that yeah, you're getting into the media to tell your story with your friends, and tell the story in a real way of not just the rip from the headlines bit around, robberies, but also probably everything behind that, and your relationships, right? And what happened in the fallout. I'm sure there's, some things you don't want to talk about, because you want to keep everything, want to keep people interested in what you're going to reveal. But do you want to talk a little bit about the movie that you're making, and or some other things you have going on with Bevo, like events, or how people can get involved?
Okay, we'll start with Bevo. We have events every month, seasonal events. Right now, I don't know if you can see behind us, we have a Halloween type theme background because we bought a bunch of candy for the kids, and we got pamphlets, information, literature. So they're gonna have like a little Halloween gathering, get together. We sit down with the kids, give them some candy and stuff, and we just give them some jewels, give them some safety rules of how to deal with Halloween, how to deal with life once they leave from our presence. Because we're always finding a way to convince them to come. It's like a lure. It's a constant lure to give you what's good for you. Like when you have a child that don't want to take his medicine, you put it in with something sweet, and then you give it to them. You say, "Ooh, here it comes," and they take it. Then when they taste, it's like, "Oh, but it's good for you. You got it already." So it's the same thing with the young adults. We have to find ways and techniques to give them what they need in a way that they can appreciate it and say, "Okay, I'll keep coming back for more." So yes, Bevo has events every month. We do. We're going to do turkey giveaways, perhaps Thanksgiving hot meals in November. We're on Instagram, so you can check out I believe it's Brownsville End Violence out on Instagram. Also, we're under Canva. So Canva is the nonprofit organization that we're under. So Canva has a number of different events and things that's going on. And the work, like I said, it's not for everybody. It takes a unique type of individuals to do this type of work consistently. Uh, Fortunately, both of my co-workers that were shot are alive and well. But yes, we are on the front line. Things happen that it's unexpected, but this is what happens when you're out in the community where people carry guns. And we are anti-gun violence group. And so two of my co-workers were shot. One was shot in January. The mayor named the day after him. March 6th is officially Tyrone Sloan Day because he was shot. And so the mayor gave him a day and all of that. And then another one of my coworkers, a female, India, she was shot. So the work that we do is not like the police. We don't have vests, we don't have guns, tasers, none of that. All we have is our message and our words, and we go out there into those streets and we do the best that we can do. We canvas at least 4 hours a day, 20 hours a week, and the only thing that we have that we're armed with is our word and our credibility. And as a man, my wife looks at that and says, "Man, sometimes I'll be worried about you when you're out there. Sometimes I'll be wanting you to come back and be praying you come back." And I told her, I said, "Whatever I went through to get here is nowhere near versus what I've been. It's not the same. Just because they got guns out here and this things going on, I've made it through some close combat situations where I could have lost my life. So to come out here, I feel free. At least I can duck, I can hide, I can move. I'm not creating no situation where nobody's shooting at me directly. So I'm not worried. I don't go out here worried more about me. I worry about my participants and the people in our community because they don't have the knowledge that I have. They don't have the experience that I have. And so my focus is on them and her focus is on me. So it's like two worlds, like you said, because my wife worries about me and I'm worried about the community. Like today when I left out, she said, "But you don't have to go. I'm sure they can find somebody else to do it." I said, "Yeah, but that person might not do it the way I'm going to do it." So I'm not going to take long. I'm going to do what I got to do, take care of the podcast, and then I'm going to come on back home and then we can do what we got to do. Because I've been sitting down for a long time. I'm not ready to sit down. I don't want to relax. I want to stay busy. I want to stay active, doing what I need to be done. So when it's time for me to relax and rest, I can be able to pat myself on the back and say, "Job well done. I did what I was supposed to do. I completed my mission." And right now I'm on a mission. So now it's for a TV series, TTO. It's called The Takeover. The Takeover is a story loosely based on our life and the journey of us four going through what we're going through to get to this point. For the most part, yes, there was a lot of bank robberies. There's a lot of things that's going on in there. But the story as a whole is about reparations. Wasn't about robbery. It was about reparations. And that's what makes what we've done different from what most people have done. When the FBI looked at our situation, they said no one has done what they've ever done in the history of bank robbery. And at first, when they said it, we was like, "Oh man, they just saying that so they can fry us and justify it." So the lawyers challenged them. They said, "Well, bring out all the boxes, all the cases." And they said, "Your Honor, we'll bring all the cases of all the bank robberies solved and unsolved in this country dating back to the 1600s or whatever. And if you can find one case in there that's similar to this one right here, we'll let those guys go." So we like, "Oh yeah, okay, we called they bluff." The next time we went to court, it was about 30 boxes on the table. It was under the desk, all on the floor, whatever. I don't know if there was really stuff in there. They was calling our bluff. But they said if they pick any one of these boxes and they has a case that's similar to this, we'll put in the motion to dismiss the charges because they don't have enough direct evidence to prove that we did it. They just had basically a modus operandi. So it was an MO. You're locking us up based on the fact that something relates to these guys and the MO. And so we're getting convicted and we're going through the process because of a modus operandi, a way that something was done. And because of that, this is why we were there at that phase in the case. And so we want to tell the story from our point of view. Nobody cooperated, nobody told. So they never really got our version of events of what took place. But it wasn't robbery, it was reparations. That's the difference. We wasn't looking saying, "Oh, we're going to go take theirs." No, we're going to go get what's ours. So that was the difference of the mind state. Why people might say, "Why you kept going over and over again?" Yeah, because that's old to me. That 40 acres and a mule and all that good living and all that stuff y'all told our ancestors back in the days, and y'all robbed us. We looking at the history. We reading how we got to this point. And we saying this condition wasn't an accident. This condition was because we were lazy. No, we were put in a disenfranchised situation, and this is how we was able to deal with it. And then it led to us saying, "Well, hold on, we starting to race from in the back, and they started from up there. Okay, we need to get an advantage." And so that's the way we chose to go about it. So when you watching this TV series, you're going to see the growth and development of these characters, how they came from one point or one mind state to get to another, from taking to giving.
Yeah, but I think it's really important because of what we talked about, I guess, before we were recording, for me to like reiterate that not everybody comes at the same. Well, you just said you're starting the race behind the starting line. That whether you're an immigrant, whether you're a person of color, there are different rules for different groups and they're unspoken and people want to pretend they're not here, but they're here. There are different circumstances that have led to different institutions that run this country a certain way.
Right.
And you we can pretend that they're not here or we can be honest about it. And I think this is also about being honest about that. And that doesn't mean like nobody like I talked to Spig too. We're not saying what's good or what's bad. We're just saying this is what is, and this is what was, and this is what set up a system and a set of circumstance to go down this way. That said, because of that being your motivation, you could also be angry and right now, but you accepted that maybe that wasn't the way in this society to get ahead. And now that you're a father and husband, you're saying, and the way what work that you're doing, you've kind of found a different way to help other people get more ahead to that starting line without having to do it in a way that might risk them being, incarcerated or not living their full potential of their life. So it's incredible. And I just wanted you to break it down. Thank you, because it's I hate the word inspiring, but I don't have another word right now. But it's inspiring, to me as an individual, and I'm obviously all the people that you touch and all the people that are going to hear about these stories and going forward. But like you said, it's the legacy that you leave behind. And I just applaud you. I thank you for giving me this time with you today. I'm hoping we're going to be seeing and doing more things together. I know we have some really cool overlapping folks with similar interests of working with inner city youth and providing resources and providing support in a real way that they actually want to engage with, rather than, like you said, the credible messenger way. And so just thank you for what you're doing for our country, our youth of tomorrow. And yeah, I'm just grateful that you spent this time with me today.
Absolutely, no problem. Anytime, y'all give me a call. I'm always outside. I'm available.
All right. Well, is there anything before we go that you want to say as like a closing message or a closing shout out about anything? I know that when Ryan and the team does their magic and weave together the video with pre rolls and B rolls or whatever we're calling everything. Pre roll is a totally different thing. Yes, I just said that. Um, just that we'll have, we'll make sure we'll have all of the websites and social links and all of that together, of course. But if there's anything else you want to draw attention to, please share.
Well, again, like I said, Brownsville and Violence Out, man, that's the team that we work with, man, as far as helping the youth and being out in the community. But we welcome partnering with other organizations that's working in the community, so that if there's certain resources that we don't have, that you guys have it and we can partner together. Because the thing is, we have to come together in order to combine our efforts in order to have the great impact that we're looking for. We can't do it on our own. Bevo is one anti-gun violence organization within the city out of many. I believe it's like 60 something. And so when you look at what we do, you know that it's not something that can just be done overnight, and it's not something we can just do in one community. My catchment area may be 40 block radius, but there's so many other blocks that need the same resources. But me, one person, and me and my team consist of maybe 10 to 12 people. We can't be everywhere. So we have to link and connect with other organizations that's willing to put in the work and go the extra mile. So we invite y'all to come to our events and check us out on social media. We're on Instagram, like I said, it's Brownsville and Violence Out, or Canberra.gov or .org. You can check us out. And my attribute is Supreme, and my Instagram is Supreme underscore show improve. And the reason why I chose that name is because I'm out here making it happen. Everything that I talked about, everything I said I was going to do, I'm out here showing and proving. And so everything I do and everything I say has a meaning behind it. Everything has a purpose behind it. I'm living a purposeful life, a meaningful life, and I encourage the individuals that are listening to adopt a purposeful, meaningful life as they move forward. Because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you are the one that has to be held accountable for your actions, your progress, and your success. So if you're not living a meaningful life, eventually you're gonna get to a point you're like, man, you know what? I gotta start living a meaningful life. I gotta start living with purpose. I'm living my purpose. I'm living what God put me here for, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. The TV series TTO, The Takeover, it's going to be an action-packed series that's like no other. You see a lot of series on TV that are great, and they talk about drug dealing, they talk about growing up, having an enterprise and all that. This is the first series that you're going to see that's dealing with takers, but a certain type of takers, a certain mind state. We're not talking about just robbing just so we can ride around the hood. We're talking about gaining our reparations, something that's owed to us. That mind state of having to go get what's yours because you had it and someone took it away. A right that you had, but it was an exercise properly. And that mind state, although you may categorize it as a robbery, because most of us said, okay, this is robbery. They taking this, they taking that. Yeah, those are robberies. But no, we were owed this. And now we have an opportunity to give back to the community with what we earned, which was the experience, the lessons that we learned, all the things that we've been through that made us stronger. All three of my co-defendants are home today. We're striving, we're strong. Everybody's in their right state of mind. They got their moms with them. So we have a testimony and we have a lot to offer and a lot to give. And our TV series is just the introduction. So y'all know who we are, know what we've been through. And it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be informative. I'm one of the writers, so you know all the good energy is going to be placed in it. All the lessons is going to be in it. So it's going to be a great mixture of education and entertainment, intrigue, love, because we're going to deal with the families. We're going to deal with a number of different topics. We're going to get the whole picture of who were and what made us or drove us to go in there back to back to back over and over and over again. You get to walk with us. You get to grow with us. You get to laugh and cry with us. And we're going to put it together, man. We still in development stages. We're working on getting this trailer together so we can start pitching it to the major networks. But for the most part, everything has been good vibes, good energies, and we just rolling, man. So my TTO team, my Bevo team, we won circuit, one network, and we making it happen, man. Thank you for having me on today, giving me opportunity to speak and let the people know that we out here and what we doing, because this message needs to be heard and touched by many people. And anybody that's just coming home from incarceration and would like to get down with the movement, give us a call, check us out, man, because there's always opportunity to add on to what we're doing, man. We can't do it all, but together we can do anything.
Incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to keep talking and seeing you and seeing all the great work you're doing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Supreme one, he's out. Yeah. At the Natanya Experience, we believe we can all rise above challenges, heal, and shine together. And so we give big thanks to our amazing partners who share our vision of universal health and happiness.